Welcome back, everybody. This is TLS Season 3, round of 24. We're going on to the final match of Group B. It is going to be
Group A.
Skyline versus Dragon.
Group A.
Group A. My bad.
Group B is next.
Group B is next.
Yeah. This is not, of course, the final match for the day. So anyone who's still itching for more Broodor action, don't worry, because coming up next we have Group B, which is featuring some superb talents in the shape of Modesty, Andre, Michael, and Zaraki. So that's going to be good stuff. But first, we have to close out this group, Group A, with Skyline versus Dragon. And this is going to be interesting. Will Skyline bring the good Skyline who can beat people, or the previous Skyline who we saw play against True Touch, who basically shoots himself in the foot and then falls backwards off his chair into the pit?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that between last game and this game, he had a little bit of time to just chill and think about it. I assume he did, because that last game was pretty long, right? The PVT. So I hope he had 5 or 10 minutes to sit down, calm down a little bit, be like, all right, I messed up against True Touch, but I've got one more game. I don't need to go crazy. I think his TVP is pretty decent. So, and it's still on Fighting Spirit as well, so he's got, a decent map. He should just calm down and just, play solid.
Even if he didn't have time, he should do the Eastern European thing in between games and say BRB, smoke. And he should go and smoke for a few minutes, piss everyone off, make them wait for the next game, and just collect himself together.
Is that the Eastern European thing? Are you sure that's not just the FR Yoda thing?
Yeah, that's true. He does do that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Apparently that's the Eastern European thing. All right. Sweet. Good.
Yoda is representative.
Nice. I like it.
Is that cool?
I buy it. So, who do you actually think? Who would you favor in this match?
Dragon.
Dragon, you think so?
Yeah. After the games we've seen today, Dragon. Dragon came back from an impossible position against Cryok, and Skyline binned the game against True Touch. I think it's I think this is only going to end one way. I really hope Skyline proves me wrong, but he doesn't look on top of his mental state today, to say the least.
Yeah,
whereas Dragon really does.
If both players were playing their A game, I think I would lean towards Skyline, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he was our invite for season number 1. He did get pretty far in both seasons of TLS so far. But, yeah, it just looks like... I mean, people have been saying he's not very active lately. And by people, I mean Draw. But yeah, as we saw already as well, he doesn't seem to be really on his game today. I don't know if it's just a day or just, again, he's just not really in form due to inactivity. And Dragon, I do know, has been practicing, though, for the TLS. So he's definitely in or some kind of shape at least. So yeah, I think just today I would agree with you and say go with Dragon. But I think Skyline might still be able to pull something out here.
Yeah,
so,
you never know. You never know. And it's always good to take Draw with a pinch of salt as well, because his catchphrase is inactive. That's his catchphrase.
He goes inactive every other week. So
yeah, he
retires. He retires every other week. Anyway, also do know as well that this is going to be for these players' tournament lives. Whoever wins for this one game will advance to the round of 16. Whoever loses is out of the tournament. If Dragon wins, this will be the first time he's playing he's actually advanced into the round of 16 of TLS.
Wow.
And if Skyline loses, I believe this will be the first time he won't be seeded into a TLS tournament, because he was obviously seeded into Season 1 and then Season 2. So, but if he drops out here, he won't get a seed.
That's a big deal.
It's crazy.
That's a really big deal. So these guys are really playing for a lot here, more than it seems. Dragon making his first really deep run, and Skyline clinging on for dear life. So I'm about ready to go into it and see what's going to happen.
I am as well, Elegant. So here we go. All right, and here we go into the final game of the group. At the top right position as the brown Protoss, we have Dragon Pain, and his opponent At the bottom right is the blue Terran will be Skyline.
Yep, brown, the scariest color in Brood War, which is definitely not true. I think blue's pretty good looking on Terran. I'm a big fan of the blue Terran.
Yeah, the blue's pretty cool. It's pretty legit.
Yeah. It's
brown,
pretty legit.
The only good thing about brown is if your opponent doesn't use allied colors, it's hard for him to see if it's like brown terrain.
Yeah.
You know? Didn't Day 9 tell that story where he got like a Nidus built in his base because he couldn't see it on the minimap or something?
That is bad times. I remember when people actually did that.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened to me for many years.
Well, the thing is, like, ever since people started using allied colors, it doesn't work anymore because your opponent's always red on the minimap.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? That's such a revelation that I discovered that.
It's a joy kill, though, man. You can't abuse the brown color anymore.
That would be so crazy. Yeah. There was only a matter of time before that trick was kind of phased out. It's like the allied mines trick. It's great once, but you know someone's going to do something about it eventually.
Hey, dude, allied mines is always great. It's just illegal now. Allied mines never became not great. It was just it was too great. That's the thing. It was good. It was on the other side. It was too great.
It's one of the best moves ever invented in Brood War, hands down.
And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about with allied mines, I know there's some SC2 viewers in here. So this was a trick actually invented by Boxer, Slayer's Boxer, where he would lay a whole bunch of spider mines on the map and then actually go into the diplomacy tab and ally his opponent in a 1v1, wait for his opponent to walk on top of the minefield, and the mines wouldn't trigger because he was allied, and then he would unally and all the mines would just come out at once and kill everything. It was the coolest thing ever, and it was so good that Kespa banned it, so...
Yeah.
Kespa.
It was actually that good. Like, yeah, Brood War is balanced, apart from that.
Yeah,
you can't
so
do that.
so they just made a rule where I think you can't touch the diplomacy tab anymore.
Yeah, I think that's just transcendently brilliant, thinking outside the box in Brood War. I love it. You don't need APM to do stuff like that.
Exactly. That is an excellent point as well. Again, you look at someone like Flash, he's like, oh, he's so godly with his crazy mechanics. But then you look at Boxer, he's like, well, it takes what 3 clicks to do allied mines. It's like, hey, I can do that.
Yeah. But you just wouldn't.
And I wouldn't until Boxer showed it to me, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really quite magnificent. We have both these guys in the game going for completely standard stuff. We have Factory happening over here for Mr. Terran, and we have Cybernetics Core spinning for Mr. Protoss. It is not a fake out, it is in fact the real deal. We have range on the way up. So it's pretty normal for these guys. And yeah, I can't see anything too crazy happening. We do have a little bit of funny scouting action going on from Mr. Dragon here. It looks like his probe has taken the most roundabout route possible to get to his opponent. He went bottom left first, I think, and then top left. Now he's going bottom right, but he's going to be easily turned away by those Marines. Yeah,
it's just a little bit unlucky, but it's interesting because he did do a fairly early scout and he went cross map. So I was wondering if he had some kind of gameplay. Not all the times, but sometimes me. Well, I just repeat myself, but. It sometimes means that the Protoss has a different build for cross spawns compared to close spawns on a 4-player map.
Yeah.
You might go 1 gate Nexus versus 1 gate Obs Nexus or something, depending on the positions. And this pro's going to leave these Marines on a merry chase, but they're going to go back now.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to know, actually, the cross map scouting, because there's no point if you just need to know whether you can do your close build order or your cross-map builder. You don't need to scout your opponent early. You just need to know whether he's close or whether he's far, and then you've got your build order sorted. So that makes the cross-map scout really entirely valid and very, very smart in certain situations. We have a little bit of push coming from these Marines. Looks like he's going to lose 1 of them. Maybe not even lose 1. Yeah, he's going to lose 1, but that's not too bad. He's going to be able to get back safely up his ramp into the cover of the siege tank and push these Dragoons back. But these Dragoons being very, very persistent, able to take out another Marine, and that's always useful because Marines get Dragoons. But it looks like he might lose that 1 Dragoon, which is definitely not worth it. Yeah, back.
That looked like slightly better control than he had in the game against True Touch, at least, but yeah, still taking a few hits there, which is not quite ideal. I don't know whether to blame that on the goons or just his micro, because they didn't seem to get a little bit confused there, but really, and I don't know, maybe I've been watching too much Snipe a lot with watching too much of Bisu's stream where he has this sublime control maybe it's not really fair to compare Dragon to him. But anyway, we do have a big attack coming in here, and he does have one pretty significantly damaged goon, so he's got to be a little bit careful. There's even 2 SCVs pulled as well, which is going to help quite a bit. And here come the spider mines being laid. A 4th goon joining the fray, 1 Dragoon being targeted down. It looks like good control, though, from Dragon. Hasn't lost the goon yet. Their first goon falls. He's got to be careful not to walk on the line, though!
Yeah. He needs to not do that. He needs to not lose Dragoons to mines. This is very, very bad. When he was looking in a great position right there for a second, suddenly he's looking in a position where he's going to have trouble beating back this tank, and he might actually end up a little bit contained right here because there's that mine out there that he just can't really deal with. He doesn't have an observatory yet. His robo is finished, but his observatory is nowhere to be seen. He actually doesn't have one on the way in at all, and that one spider mine there is just going to be a massive, massive issue for him. There's just no way he can really get through that.
I mean, he's got enough gas. I'm pretty sure he just forgot. Oh, God. Shoot it! Shoot the mine! Shoot the mine!
This is getting seriously bad for Dragon.
These SCVs repairing are also actually really recovering a lot of HP. He can surround the tank with probes actually and kill it. Surround it with probes. Trap it. Trap it. Get it.
He really should have done, but it looks like he's not going to. Oh, but he loses the Dragoon. This is terrible for Dragon. He's lost every single one of his Dragoons. He's produced one more now, but there is still that siege tank being a massive, massive pain in the ass, and he's pushing forward. That Dragoon loses 3 probes straight away. This is so bad for Dragon. He's actually losing it right here to an FD when he went for 2-gate goon. 1-gate goon rather, and he had 4 Dragoons out by the time his opponent arrived at his main. This should have been easy pickings for him. He should have easily pushed back his opponent, no questions asked. Nice and simple. This is bread and butter stuff. This is routine.
Yeah, I mean, you do need decent good goon micro to survive going 1-gate expo against a strong FD, but you know, as you say, it should be doable. So really slightly lackluster control. It was okay in the beginning, and then he made a couple of mistakes at the end. He finally cleans it up with the help of the probes. The probe might even actually kill the tank there. Or maybe not, maybe it was the Dragoon, but it looks like he's survived now. And I don't know, let's see, he's at 38 supply again. Actually, oh my god, the supplies are dead even right now. 40 against 40, exactly. But Skyline, you know, he's caused a lot of delayed mining time. He's killed a good number of probes here. His saturation is much better than Dragon's actually, it looks like.
Yeah, that was a weird engagement because Skyline didn't actually pull back at any point. He lost all of his units as well, so it kind of evened itself out a little bit in that regard. Finally, we have an observer out, and he is able to deter that little vulture harass that just came in right there.
Third base.
We have a very ballsy third base coming in from Skyline.
It's crazy.
That is interesting, but it can work because unless Dragon gets a shuttle and some zealots, then he's going to have trouble really pushing that. Unless he goes for just a big Dragoon count, he may be able to just brute force the natural expansion of Skyline while he's out defending his third.
And the thing is, this is the good kind of crazy. You know, again, this isn't the kind of crazy that's bad. This is the kind of crazy I like. Because this actually has some principle behind it. He's just done a lot of damage to the Protoss. Even if Dragon wants to attack right now, he's got so few Dragoons that he'd be risking a Vulture counterattack, and Skyline already having sacrificed 2 Vultures has shown that he's prepared to go for that kind of backstab, which really puts Dragon kind of on the defensive here. He's moving out a little bit, but you can see it's a wide open space into his main, just now having a few more Dragoons coming out, but he has to be so careful of these Vultures running around and sneaking back. And here we go, Skyline, he's getting ready to send 2 more Vultures, and there's 3 Dragoons there, but I'm pretty sure the 2 Vultures with speed can actually run past it. However, these goons now have an open path to the 6 o'clock, so it could be blow for blow here.
Oh yeah, it really could be, but those 2 Vultures make their way into the main. They're going to catch a decent number. Oh, we have more Vultures coming into the natural as well. Oh no, Dragon suddenly dropping the ball here. He's chasing Vultures in the main with probes, and he's losing probes in the natural as well. This is bad, bad. This harassment going much better than I would have possibly imagined. One of those Vultures is still alive even now, finally getting taken down, and he does scout that third base, and he's going to be able to maybe bust up that ramp. It would be very, very wise, very, very wise of Skyline to get some tanks over there right away, but then his natural expansion is also in some dire jeopardy. These Dragoons threading their way through mines. Very, very tight stuff for them right here. It looks like this is a little bit weird. Oh, I literally couldn't see that supply depot there that was blocking those Dragoons in. I had no idea what those shooting
were. Oh, is the tank in time here? He's going to lay some mines as well. The goons, they have to run up. They have to close with the tank. There's another tank, 2 tanks on the low ground here. They're going to focus down the top one, but the tanks on the low ground could do a good amount of damage. And these goons actually can't leave anymore, because if they leave, they'll be in tank range. And oh my god, these goons might even be forfeit. The SCV is just going to help buffer for the siege tanks. And
why is he
Dragon
leaving?
now.
Oh, look at these Dragoon reinforcements. So that is a lot of extra Dragoons.
Oh.
And there's only 3 siege tanks here. That number of Dragoons can just brute force its way through if there aren't enough SCVs. The
Oh my
SCVs should
God.
block the line right away to try and stop this from happening. The Dragoons are moving in on the tanks really, really nicely. Dragon, oh, but 2 Spider Mines go down, and these Dragoons can take some nasty mine hits right there. Oh, no. All the Dragoons falling at once, and he's left with only 4. He's still going to be able to do some decent damage, though. And this is a fascinating trade for both these players. I have no idea who's coming out on top, but I would be tempted to say that it's probably Dragon.
Yeah, he's at 66 supply now against 57. He's still harassing this third base. I mean, how many SCVs are still mining in the main and natural? See, the SCV saturation is now very, very thin, so this was quite a risky move by Skyline. I actually thought it was a really good idea given the threat of Vulture counterattacks, but Dragon just committed anyway, took the hit to his probe line, and was like, well, I'll just do enough damage that it doesn't matter, and, you know, he did actually do more damage there, so yeah. It looks like it worked out in the end. It was a risky move. Meanwhile, more Vulture's going to go deny this third base attempt from him, but his Dragoons are also kind of having a standoff here at the 6 o'clock, so pretty crazy game so far.
This has been really, really full on from both of these guys. Just pulling out all the kind of tricks they can. That was a really interesting attack from Dragon, and he just seems to have this ability to find extra Dragoons when he needs them. You know, he can.
Man.
Really
Elegant, the reason these goons weren't going to save the 12 is they had to wait for an OBS. There was no OBS in the area. He had to wait for this new one to come out, which means this 12 could actually be cancelled.
Yeah, it's going to have to be cancelled at this point. Those Dragoons,
it's close though, because Vultures don't do much damage to buildings. They do very low damage to buildings, but and he's only got a few seconds to decide as well because it's going to finish.
No,
it's going to be cancelled.
Yeah, I think that was the right decision. He couldn't quite get over there in time, unfortunately for him. And of course, that Nexus would have been so snipeable. Oh, probe just getting spotted as Skyline made his way out, and 1 Vulture returns to deal with that poor probe, which was ready to make another Nexus. And Dragon is left without a 3rd Nexus, and the 3rd CC floating back to where it was previously left. And finally, Skyline's going to get his much-desired 3rd base up and running. Significantly later than he had hoped, and those Dragoons are going to get cleared out right here. An 8-kill Dragoon finally biting the dust. Goodbye, a veteran Dragoon, and Skyline is able to resecure the 3rd base.
Man, who's ahead right now? It's 78 supply for Skyline against 88, so Dragon has a slight supply lead, but that's standard for PvT, for Protoss to be slightly ahead in supply. Arbiter Tech is on the way, but the 3rd base of the Protoss is only not even halfway done, and Skyline's 3rd is already mining, so I don't actually know who's ahead. I would go for Skyline as well, actually.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to really come to bear, like you say, as the supply starts kicking because of that early 3rd base. That means that Skyline supply is going to start to go up quicker, earlier than Dragon's, and so Dragon's just going to be a little bit left behind there. So Skyline, I think, really needs to pick his moment carefully for his push timing. I can't help but feel that kind of not a maxed push. I think he needs to go a little bit earlier than that. Push maybe somewhere around the 140 supply kind of area might be ideal for him.
It's interesting because he has actually gotten his science vessel pretty quickly here, I would say. So he's actually going to be able to deal with the Arbiters as well if he wants to move out. You know, he won't be relying on comsats to give him detection. He will actually have a proper mobile detection with his army. In the meantime, looks like we're going up to 7 gateways, maybe 8 gateways. Yep, now for Dragon. He's got that first Arbiter coming, but of course it will take quite a while to get out, and then even longer before it has energy for a spell. In the meantime, we have a bit of an unsiege here, but it looks like he's just going to reposition slightly. Not going to move out just yet, of course. Doesn't, you know, in low numbers, the Terran mech army is actually not that scary. You really need a decent core of units, so doesn't want to throw anything away in the meantime. Just going to keep going with these very, very small groups of Vultures to go harass, which I think is pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that's important that he does that. He needs to get out and about, and he needs to keep his opponent down. But this is really interesting to see. Those probes only just transferring out now, and Dragon immediately sent another probe over to the left-hand side, so it looks like he's already looking to take a 4th base pretty much straight away in order to try and get his economy back on track.
I think that's
kind of a curious move.
I think that's probably what he should do because, you know, going into the mid-late game PvT, Protoss is supposed to be 1 base ahead of the Terran. So in this case, he really does want to get that 4th base going as soon as possible, or he is going to fall behind. Now, since he's gotten his Arbiter Tech already, that's somewhat mitigated. You know, if you tech very quickly, you can't afford to be just on even basis with the Terran, but still, you know, I would think he would want that 4th base, and he has now got another probe over there, going to take it down. Meanwhile, a nice little attack squad of 4 Goliaths and a Vessels going around sniping obs. really love this move. You know, it's so typical for us just to leave a 1 obs right outside the Terran space just to see exactly when he moves out and his composition and all that good jazz. And Skyline is just really denying any kind of vision for the Protoss.
I think that's very important. Yeah, he's doing a great job of taking out those observers, and it just leaves Dragon a little bit high and dry, because if the Terran army gets out and before you know where it is, then it can be so bad. When the Terran army gets more than halfway across the map and you don't know about it yet, then you're already in trouble, and that's real trouble. That's not
Oh man, we got a bunch of factories being added. Elegant. He's going up to 9.
Whoa!
There's a lot of. I wonder why his barracks has landed though. Maybe he just built it again or something. He should lift that. It's kind of blocking him a little bit. And oh, it looks like Obs is trying to run away. Run away! Run away!
Nothing doing. He does have speed observers, but it just, of course, as always, gets killed with the last Goliath shot. Very edge of life range. Isn't that always the way? It just sucks to be an observer. But it looks like Skyline is moving forward. I wouldn't imagine he's going to move all the way forward at this point. But he's seeming kind of tempted, but he's way behind his supply right now. I can't imagine why he'd throw down all those factories and then move out before they really kick in, because I would imagine that was going to be a sudden kind of race to max.
He's also a little bit low on vultures, I think, similar to what Croc was last game, but he's going to catch a group of goons here. Can he lay the mines? He's not really laying enough mines, though. Man, he can't just attack with the vultures. He needs to lay the mines, and he's actually going out. Also on siege, he's got to be so careful here. Elegant's shaking his head like crazy.
I just think he needs to be careful. He needs to calm down, because he's got all those factories. He needs to wait until he can use them. He's going to be able to reinforce quickly, but it's not going to do much good if he loses the core of his army in the meantime.
I completely agree. Well, let's take a look at the upgrades. 1-0 against 2-0, but oh my god, the siege is late, and there's no vultures. That was the latest siege. Oh my god. The Zealots just walk right up to the tanks. Horrendous engagement for Skyline. This is going to be a massacre of the Terran army. I don't know why he was being so aggressive there, just walking around, not playing it methodically, not playing it properly as you should. And Skyline doesn't even know what's going on. What indeed, my friend? What indeed?
I think Skyline is just seeming completely bamboozled today. He doesn't quite seem to grasp exactly what's going on.
He's double expanding, Elegant.
His army's tiny, doesn't it? Oh, wow. Well, to be fair, Dragon won't see that coming, but I don't know how much good it's going to do him. Can he even defend here at his own front door? I think Dragon's getting a little bit ahead of himself right there. I'm ready for those units to come out of stasis, catching 2 free siege tanks and a couple of Goliaths as well. But Dragon is persistently going out the front door of Skyline, and that's something you very rarely see near the 20-minute mark in the PvT.
Now, it looks like the Protoss army is going to the bottom left, so that silly little double expand is going to get... Oh, wait.
Maybe not.
I don't think he scouted it. I really don't think he scouted it. So it looks like this was just a move to maybe attack the 6. But this could be a really funny way to come back, actually, especially given that the Protoss has taken the 9 instead of the top left. So this is just getting a little bit silly, but Dragon really happy about that.
What is this push? This is 6 tanks and a handful of vultures. This is not...
Oh, he's going to catch the probes! Catches the transfer, and that's going to tip him off that there's a base in a weird location, because why the hell would those probes go in that direction?
Yeah, but his siege tanks are just going to get easily cleaned up here. This is another kind of attack into the sunken colonies for Skyline. This is really weird. He gets completely surrounded, and his whole army is going to die, for want of a better way of putting it. Really bad engagement for him right there. I think he wasn't too cost inefficient though, but even so, he needs units right now, because he has practically none on the map. He's bottomed out at 118, 110 supply, 108 supply. It keeps on falling lower and lower. 104 supply it ends at, and 138 supply for Dragon. What a weird decision from Skyline. And Dragon just keeps it coming, keeps pushing forward with still a very nice core of Dragoons.
Yeah, I mean, like, did Skyline just drink too many Red Bulls before playing or something? Because he's just going crazy here. And, you know, in TVZ, actually, going crazy can sometimes win you games, but in TVP, it's just like, it's never going to go well. Now, funnily enough, these 2 bottom left bases have actually gotten up, and he started making SDVs from them, so, I mean, like, if he mines from them, he can maybe come back? He's so fun. Despite suiciding 2 army, he's not even that far behind in supply. He's only, like, 30 supply behind, and in PvT, you know, that's actually not that terrible. Protoss is supposed to be a little bit ahead anyway,
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, despite everything, he's actually still a boss, and he's playing really well. You know, if only he wouldn't suicide his army every, 5 minutes, he probably would have enough right now to go push and maybe even just kill Dragon.
It's like most of the time you got Skyline at the keyboard, but every now and then he kind of swaps out for this reserve Skyline who's standing behind him. He goes, okay, you play for a few minutes, and then this guy comes in, make a complete mess, and then Skyline has to come back in and clean up.
Dude, it's like the little devil standing on his shoulder,
Yeah.
just like, yeah, go A-move him, just kill that Protoss, you can do it.
Yeah, because this is really weird stuff. It's the same kind of mistakes that we saw in his game versus True Touch, which just cost him the game. It's significantly more hideously than he'll have cost himself this one if this does in fact end up in his defeat. But even so, it's a similar kind of vein. And he just needs to get a really good hold of himself and play more sensibly, because he's really letting it slide here.
He's actually just killed almost all the probes at the top left natural there, because Dragon like moved his army to defend it and then went somewhere else. It looks like he found the command center, so he moved to divert his army there. But yeah, there's 13 kills between these Vultures now, and it looks like Vultures now moving into the natural as well. The Protoss army is actually quite out of position here. Look at this, Dragon's army is all the way at the bottom left. There's no easy way for him to get back, and just this army of random Vultures and Goliaths really giving Dragon a heart attack. And it looks like he might even bait Dragon into going for an attack towards his natural, with Dragon thinking that the majority of the units are actually attacking his own natural, but that's actually not the case. Skyline kept most of his units at home, and Skyline is maxed again.
Look at the supply.
What the hell?
Big recall going into the 6 o'clock base, and Skyline is going to have to do without that for a little bit. There's no way he's going to be able to save that command center. But that army is going to die for Dragon. Dude. And I can't help but feel that this could be a great opportunity for Skyline to actually do a successful push. He has got so much supply over Dragon at this point. It's absolutely crazy. 190 to 163. That is a big lead, but he has had to completely sacrifice the 6 o'clock base for that. So that's actually a really big deal. But he's doing a massive push over the middle of the map right now, and Arbiter getting caught on the way home. Not quite going down. 15 HP left for that Arbiter, but the big push still going up on the left-hand side. Losing a Science Vessel in the meantime. That could have probably come in useful later on, but this is scary from Skyline. If he can retake that 6 o'clock at the same time, instead of just sending SCVs to their deaths there, then he might really have a good shot.
Dude, Skyline has a great opportunity. He can kill the top left Nexus. He can kill the 12 o'clock Nexus. Dragon will be down to essentially mining that 9 o'clock base. But Skyline, obviously, he doesn't have a great economy himself, but if he can just keep his army together and really get it going, he could be in good position as well. I was a bit surprised that he didn't just push towards the natural, because the Protoss actually doesn't have a second source of gateways at another main like they often do with this kind of situation. So actually push on the main to take out the production could have even been a better idea, although generally that's a little bit risky if he did have gateways at the top left. But yeah, I mean, the supply has kind of plummeted here. It's 157 now against 164. Dragon back in the supply lead. Oh my god, I didn't even notice the 9 o'clock Nexus died.
Yeah,
2 siege tanks actually picked it off.
Yeah, they just took it right down. There was no way any units could get over there in time, and Dragon is in so much trouble. Look at the army movement from Skyline right now. He is everywhere. There is blue all over the map. This is absolutely crazy, and there is blue all over the map in more than one regard as all these Dragoons go down in the middle of the map as well. This is just terrible for Dragon. I don't know how he's ended up in this position. I don't know how Skyline is doing it, but it's once again reversing. But here comes Dragon once again through the middle of the map. We have 115 supply for Skyline and 151 supply for Dragon. How is this supply seesawing backwards and forwards in this insane fashion?
This is ridiculous. However, Dragon managed to save most of the probes at 9 o'clock. He's mining now from the bottom left. I don't know if Skyline sees it. He's actually floating his command center back. Dragon also sees the 3 o'clock base with that observer. However, this one siege tank might just kill the 12 o'clock Nexus by himself. This is the only siege tank that's been attacking this Nexus, and I think he's going to get it. He's definitely going to kill this Nexus.
Yep.
And that means Dragon's only going to be mining from the bottom left main. And Skyline will be mining from only the 3 o'clock. And Skyline looks like he wants to save the units that are coming out of stasis as well. He's sending in the reinforcements. He could actually do it. He's going to save the units as they come out of stasis and trap the Protoss army. But more units coming in the back, though that could be a costly mistake to try and have saved those. Oh, man. And GG! Skyline scouting the bottom left Nexus with his command center, actually about to lose his command center to the photon cannons, and types out, I did not think he had lost the game necessarily, but he was losing last of his army, maybe.
Yeah, I think probably on his way out and wanted to save himself the last shred of dignity, which he definitely managed to retain during that game. He did. He was very creditable in the end, really fighting it back against Dragon when all hope seemed lost. For both of them at several points. Really, really backwards and forwards stuff right there. Before I saw in the stream chat, people really heavily blaming the map, but I don't think anyone can blame the map for that to and fro game we just saw.
Yeah, definitely not. And man, I mean, when he moved out there and was killing all this stuff, I actually thought for sure after he killed the 9 and the 12 that he could actually pull back, because it was literally one base versus one base mining. It's just the problem that was he got caught in a bit of a bad engagement in the middle and lost his army. But if he kept his army together and didn't get flanked like that, definitely could have come back there, I think.
Yeah, that's really, really unfortunate.
So, Skyline is out for the first time. He's not going to get any more seeds. Although, having said that, it's championship season next season anyway, so I don't know how the seeding works. But Dragon has made it through. This is his first TLS3 performance, and he's doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, he's looking
going
good.
on to the round of 16, along with True Touch from Group A. But don't worry, guys. We have a whole entire group left to come. It is going to be Group B, which contains Modesty, Andre, Michael, and Zaraki. Andre, of course, will be playing Terran for the duration.
Yep. That's going to be seriously good stuff. We're going to see cheesy shenanigans from Michael. We're going to see confusing shenanigans from Andre, and we're going to see some solid good play from the rest of them. So I think that's a beautifully well mixed group. If not in terms of racial distribution, definitely in terms of play styles.
Indeed.
So stick around. Don't be going anywhere, because there's so much more good Brood War coming up tonight.
See you guys in a bit.